one of the primary focal points of this year is going to be these global issues. And global issues are really just the topic that will lead to the theme or meaning of a work. According to IB, for it to be a global issue, it has to be significant on a wide or large scale. It has to be transnational, meaning that it's an issue not just localized to South St. Paul, but something that's an issue among different communities. And it must have an impact in everyday local context as well. So some of the categories could be culture, identity, and community. In that case, you might read a novel and focus on nationalism or family or class or race. Religion falls under that category. Gender can fall under that category. So that would be sort of the initial seed. You could also explore beliefs, values, and education. So this would be maybe in the novel if we see two different characters with different belief systems come in conflict with one another, and then how is that represented? We might look at politics, power, and justice. In that case, we might be looking at inequalities or the distribution of wealth, human rights, and whatnot. If we're thinking about arts, creativity, and imagination, this is where we might find a work that is discussing the value and effect of art in society. And then finally, science, technology, and the natural world. Some works might be focusing on, environmentalism, or in the case of A Thousand Splendid Suns, this would fall under the medical technology and advances that we're going to see the characters kind of either not have access to or have access to if they're male, that sort of thing. So what does that really mean? So it means that when we read a work of literature, as in like Toni Morrison's Beloved or William Wordsworth's poetry, we think about what issues are being developed. So Toni Morrison's Beloved, you might consider how she's showing the impact of systemic oppression on personal psychology. Or maybe you're thinking about William Wordsworth's poetry and his question of moral identity in the face of war. For The Great Gatsby, which you read last year, this is where you might think about how Fitzgerald developed concepts of money and materialism, and then your global issue would be, more specific, like money and materialism leads to decisions that are harmful to other people. Or society and class might be that it doesn't matter what class you're born into, you can, make enough money and join the upper class. Or this love, desire, relationships, maybe you consider the novel from the perspective of Gatsby sort of having this imaginary love for Daisy that sort of destroys everything else in his life. So it's really, all it really boils down to when we talk about global issues is it really boils down to this concept of theme, and then how are those themes universal. And we will work on this. It'll be a work in progress. Right now we're just trying to kind of scratch the surface of it. I hope that helps you understand.